Hello, Lake Elsinore. We got some people down here fishing. Yeah. Yeah, man, those are nice because you can stand up inside them. That's the only thing that's good about them. Dodge makes one. They got one that has a Sterling. And my sister had a Dodge Durango. And then they had the Mercedes-Benz engine, all aluminum. Yeah. If you can find an old mechanic, he might be 90 years old, they could tell you about when GM came out with a Buick with an all aluminum engine and what these new cars have. Even the Challenger and the Charger, I think they got an all aluminum engine. They got one thing in common with that 1960s Buick: head gasket problems. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, you pull the oil filter cap off your valve cover, and if it looks like coffee with creamer in it, it's a sign of its head gasket leaking. It cost you thousands of dollars to get it fixed. And that's one thing I can say about my dad. He never owned a car made in Japan. Okay. Let me show you something. See right out there next to the lake? Those are politicians. Yeah. Yeah. No, they're turkey vultures, but that's what your politicians are, a bunch of vultures out to suck the people dry. These guys out there probably hunting out, picking at the bones on the dead out there. Yeah. Yeah, probably eating up the dead fish that float on the shore of the lake. Yeah. Politicians like Gavin Newsom is nothing but a vulture. Yeah. He's not a true American, people. Or else he'd be cracking down on these businesses the way their operation is. We may have a chance of rain. That's the Ortega Mountain. They got a problem there. Bottom of that mountain. It was in the paper, or maybe on the news. The Ortega Mountains are moving. What it is, when it rains, that dirt is real loose and starts coming down that hill, ends up in people's front yards whose homes are at the bottom of that mountain. Oh yeah, it's a real bad, major problem. The only way to stop that was they would dig a catch basin at the bottom of the hill. All that dirt would go into. Just keep it cleaned out. I mean, they move the dirt out. Dump it at certain job sites who need fill dirt. Yeah. Yeah, I'm over here by Jack's Barbecue. '70s Lake Elsinore was cool. Yeah, the lake was smaller, but you could ride your motorcycles down there, your sand rails down there, as long as you had a off-road sticker. Then after 1980, the flood came, flooded everybody out who lived on the lake. There was houses, trailer parks, they all got flooded out. And Elsinore took over the lake. Yeah, I used to rent a house here on the lake. The property went under the lake. Cops come down there and they harassed us and all that stuff, and said, hey, we rent the property, we can use the lake here. They had to go get written permission from the owner of the property to go down by the lake, even though the lake was on their property. Yeah, their property. Yeah, stolen land. Yeah, 1970s, man, you used to be able to drive across the lake bottom from Graham Avenue all the way across to Grand Avenue, come out by Circle K over there. I think there was 2 or 3 roads you could cut across the lake bottom. Yeah, Spring Street is one of them. It leads right to the lake. They got K-rails there. You can't go down to the lake and fish. People used to do that around 1978. Yeah. There used to be a store on the other side of the lake, but it's closed down. They tore the building down. They had a picture of the lake. I don't know, man. It had been the 50s or the 60s. Maybe the 40s, I don't know. The lake went from all the way up to the road, just about, on both sides, all the way around. They're bringing all this fill dirt in and they're stacking it up all around the lake bottom by the airport there, and they're building houses. Yeah. If they get hit with a storm like they did in 1979 to 80, will the outflow dump the water out fast enough? They were, in 1980 when they started pumping it out, they were pumping it out so fast, certain areas were getting flooded out, and they had to shut the pumps down a little bit. Yeah, it made Corona Lake, where people used to go fish for trout and stuff. Yeah, I wonder if people were caught any carp and cats out of there back then. Yeah, it's the only time good to fish out here is early in the morning. Once it hits 12 o'clock, too damn hot to sit out there. Yeah, still the same. You were allowed to, I think it was fishing, you're allowed to fish an hour before sunrise and after an hour after sunset. Yeah, they moved the pump. Oh, the engine blow up or something? I think it was a diesel pump pumping air into the lake. Unless they had a section really bad, they needed to move the pump over there. I don't know. It's that green algae, it turns red algae. When it becomes red algae, it's really unhealthy for people and animals. Don't let your dogs drink all that lake, man. Dog end up having health problems. Alright, thank you for watching. You know anything about Lake Elsinore history? Please comment what it is. If you're planning to buy a new car, you got a friend that works for a dealership or an auto shop, ask them which models they see the less of. Okay? Yeah, Toyota used to be the best there for a while. Not anymore. Oh boy. Those all aluminum engines ain't worth a shit. I don't care how much faster they are, because they're lighter and stuff. People want dependability. It saves them thousands of dollars. Yeah, that new E85 fuel, you put that in your car and it ain't made for it, it's going to destroy your engine. They're going to add E15. The rumor is you get less gas mileage. Yeah, E85 fuel cars, flex fuel, don't get as good as gas mileage as a regular gasoline car. And diesel used to be cheaper than gasoline. Now it's higher. Alright, thank you for watching.